Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I'm so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about the opposition strategy, or the adversary, or we can call it what it is, the whatever of the light. I'm trying not to put too much emphasis on it, right? But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting, empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. So, what made me want to talk about the strategy of the opposition, or Satan's strategy, is sometimes in life we really feel like everything in the world is against us. We start to have comparison, we start to doubt ourselves, we start to get insecurity, we start to feel lonely, all of the things, right? We feel all the feelings. And I think it's important for us to be in preparation for everything that's about to be thrown at us. I think it's time for us to start gearing up, putting on our full armor of God, and being ready and about that battle life. Like, we got to be up and strategically planning for a war. Like, sometimes we get so laxical, lackadaisy, and we just act as if life is just going to be handed to us. Like, the person we want just going, they ain't going to come. But you know what I'm saying? We just act like we don't have to put forth no effort in life for the things that we actually want. And like, there's never going to be any struggles. There's never going to be trials and tribulations and storms and things that we have to withstand to make it to the next level. But that's completely untrue. Life is always going to be lifing. So what do we do since life is going life? We need to gear up. It's time to get ready for whatever is about to be thrown at us. The worst thing that you could do is just be in some kind of imaginary world pretending as if life is not about to hit. And I'm not saying you just think worst case scenario and always think everything horrible is going to happen, but you do need to get geared up. You got to put on your full armor of God. You got to put on your breastplate, your helmet, your armor. You got to make sure that you got your sword. You got to have the shield. You got to have all of it, because you never know which part of it you're going to need. And most of the times when the spiritual warfare comes, when battle happens, when life is lifing, you're going to need all of it. Accumulation, accumulation of all of it to be able to endure the storms, to be able to move on. And so, here are three things that stood out to me that I noticed can cause us to be a little weak when it comes to his strategy. Like, these are things that I feel like the adversary uses to try to weaken us or make us feel like we ain't about that God life, or make us feel like we aren't already blessed. The first thing is he tries to make us feel lackful, like we are missing out on something in life. I promise you, there's nothing that you could want for if God is a part of your life. You might have a little lower paycheck than you usually have. Something might be taken away from your life, but you're never lacking anything. Everything that God removes is always replaced by something else. He would never ever want you to feel as if you got to be desperate for anything in life, because what's yours is yours and can't nobody take it from you. And that's why I think that having this comparison thing is all the adversary, because why wouldn't he want you to think about the one thing that you don't have? Much like Adam and Eve in the garden. They had a perfectly good life sitting there. They in their whole relationship. They all one unit. They all happy in this garden with lots of food, just free as a bird. Caw-caw. No, but seriously, they sitting there chilling. They having a good time. Enjoying life. And then, of course, here comes the serpent slithering around and then telling them, if you eat from this tree, you won't surely die. Like, didn't God just say you're going to die if you eat from here? And then he going to make you feel like you're really missing out on things, just like he made Adam and Eve feel like they were missing out on things. And I know there's going to be that one person from church that's going to be like, well, he didn't convince Adam. All right. He might have convinced Eve, right? And Eve might have said, okay, I'm going to eat this. And then he took a bite of it too. So he was convinced. He was like, all right, well, she ate it, so let me go ahead and eat it too. If she didn't die, then I must be good. No, but seriously, that's how I feel like the adversary does us. He wants us to feel like we don't have all the things that we already need. Like we're missing out on something. Like, oh no, you're not you're not in this six-figure business, so all of a sudden you're missing out. You might not be ready for a six-figure business. Oh no, you're not in this luxury car. You might not be ready for a luxury car because you don't take care of the car that's barely making it already. Like, you barely keep it clean, you barely go to the car wash, you barely get an oil change, and you talking about you want this luxury vehicle. You're not even being a good steward of the things that God has already blessed you with. Why would he give you more than that? You know? Then you want to talk about you want a good man. You not gonna know how to treat that man if you're not ready. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, so before you start saying your shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and I wish I had this because you see somebody on Instagram or somewhere else posting a picture of vacation, make sure that that's what you actually want. You actually want to put forth an effort to be with a person. You actually realize that relationships take real work. It's not just like we just get to go on a vacation and take a bunch of photos or look good. I want to be in a relationship where I actually am good. I want to be appreciated and I want to appreciate the person. And I'm not perfect at all. I got a lot of work to do. I always say that, but every time I feel like I'm good, I'm at this level, I feel like I'm going to be this type of way. I'm nowhere near like the person that I want to be when I get into a relationship, and I'm like, this why God is like, I'm gonna make you wait. So we have to stop being lack minded, this scarcity mindedness that we have. Like, we're really missing out on something in life, because I promise you, you're not missing out on anything. If you get anything prematurely, it's a curse. It's not a blessing. It's going to be disastrous. You're going to self sabotage. It's going to be a nightmare. You are going to make it the worst thing possible, and it's supposed to be a blessing. Until you get to a point where God has prepared you to a place where you can actually receive the blessings, do not feel like you're missing out on anything, because I promise you have everything you need. You have to really get to a place in life where you start to be grateful and thankful of all the things that you already have. I'm grateful and thankful that I get to be single in this season, because maybe you get to travel and you don't have to check with someone else where you're going. Maybe you can go out to eat and you don't have to worry if they do or don't like the food. Maybe you could go to sit in a park and just look at the sky and you ain't got to have no conversation. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it would be bad to have a conversation, but you just have to look at the bright side of things. You have to appreciate the life that you do have instead of thinking about all the things that you don't have. And a thing that really helps me, there's two things that really help me in seasons like that, where I want something else, or I'm like, okay, I'm content in this area, or I have a moment of weakness. The first thing is you cannot control anything but what you do. So you're not going to make this perfect person come out of nowhere who is grace for you. It's going to take time. So you just have to be the best version of you and do the things that you can do on your end until the person is ready, or until God brings a person into your life that you are both ready to be in a relationship. The second thing is remembering it's not my job, my duty, or my responsibility for anybody else but myself. I don't have to try to convince somebody that I am who I am. They either appreciate me or they don't, you know? And sometimes we feel like we got to prove, oh no, if I could just prove to this person that I'm enough, if I could just prove to this job that I'm worthy, if I could just prove to this place that they should buy my product or whatever else, then I'll be enough. No, you're already enough. You are already worthy. You're already beautiful. You're already fearfully and wonderfully made. You are already a royal priesthood, a holy nation. You that person. Like, I don't think you understand. And so whenever you take on another job responsibility that's not yours, you're fighting a battle that God did not equip you to fight, which weakens you. And that is part of the adversary strategy. The second thing, giving you what you think you want. This is a little tricky because sometimes you think that what you're getting is a blessing. You get this new job and you're like, I'm making good money. I'm in this nice position. I got a nice comfy title. The title, the money, and all of that is not going to make up for the time that you miss with your children. It looks like a blessing. You missing all this time with your kids. You don't get to do nothing on the weekends. You literally are making so much money you can't even spend it because you stuck at work all the time. You can't go to Bible study if that's important to you. You can't go to church because now you got to work every single Sunday to pull overtime to get a project sent in on time. This job is really a curse. It is not a blessing, but it's all part of the adversary strategy to make you distracted and make you feel like you are getting something that's a blessing, and it is not. It's a curse. It could even be a man. This man could be looking like he looking. He could be looking like a fresh piece of sliced bread, like the best thing since sliced bread. Like he walking up in there. I'm trying to think of like 70 sayings of people that they say was fine. Like besides fly like a bird, I can't think of anything else. But he could be all of that, right? In a bag of chips, like we used to say in the early 2000s. I'm not trying to age myself, but I'm just saying. And you could be like, man, that guy is looking like he's looking. And you feeling like this is, God is good. You start saying stuff like that, like God is good. And the whole time it's a distraction. That is not a blessing. That guy is not sent from God. You was rushing through life. You didn't want to wait on God because you was feeling lonely one day or something. You didn't want to wait on God because you felt like this man knew one verse in the scripture. So all of a sudden he good to go. Like he don't treat you right or nothing, but he know that sweet as a honeycomb is like his favorite verse in the Bible. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this man know Jesus. He the one. He is not the one. This is a distraction. Get it together. Okay, we gotta reel it back in. No, but seriously, that's how the adversary does. He will make you think that you're being blessed. He'll give you that new car, and that car will be your number one priority over your family, over your girl, over your man if you're a woman that's in the cars, over your every one of your responsibilities that mean more than a materialistic object. That car will be everything to you. And it is not a curse. It is sent by the adversary to make you lose sight of what's really important in your life. And sometimes we don't even realize it's happening. We just think, oh yeah, God is good. He blessed me with this car. Or you have the finances to do it and you're like, well, I'm going to buy it. I worked hard for this. You might have worked hard for it. And yes, you do deserve to get it. But you also don't want to lose sight of your priorities. You don't want the car to be the only thing that's important in your life. You don't want this man to be the only thing that's important in your life. You don't want this new job to be the only thing that matters in your life. You want to make sure you keep your priorities straight because you have a purpose. There are people in your life that depend on you, that need you in their life, and you can't just neglect them just for something that looks like a blessing. The third thing is using one verse. I know I said this a little before, but using one verse to convince you to stay or hold on to something that you need to let go of. This happens a lot in relationships. It could happen at a job. It can happen anywhere, in a friendship, whatever, right? You'll be like, you'll have this really horrible friend. And this friend is not good for you. They convincing you to do all the wrong stuff. You going places. You said you going, this the last time I'm going to this place, to this dance place. This the last time I'm going to this event. This is the last time I'm be out here like this. And your friend like, girl, these men be doing it. Your friend be like, girl, we could go out. Ain't nothing wrong with this music. And you feel your spirit like at tug of war while you in these streets, right? And I'm just saying for reference because I hear a lot of stories. And so because I'm so far out of the area, I don't understand what's happening nowadays in the world. But I try to like keep my ear to the streets, even though I'm not in the streets. So like when I hear these conversations, I'd be like, this is what people be doing. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And so so they'll be like, yeah, girl, these men be doing it. We might as well do this. We might as well go this place. We might as well whatever. Well, you can't trust it or whatever else. It'd be a whole bunch of conversations. I'd be like, I rebuke all of that because I don't want that to be on my spirit at all. I'm trying to have the most nice, most handsome. They don't have to be the most handsome, but I got to be attracted to him and he got to treat me right. The way that I would think that God would intend for this man to treat me. And I would hope that I would treat him the same way. But that I rebuke all of that. When women be talking like that, I rebuke all of it. I'm like, I don't want no parts. I want to hear about it because I want to learn what's going on, but I don't want none of that in my spirit. And so so I'll hear stuff like that, and this friend is no good for you, and every time you hang out with her, you get into some kind of trouble, you're doing all the wrong things, And then then you think of a Bible verse. A Bible verse just drop right on you, on your spirit. Right? And it'd be like, but we gotta turn the other cheek. We gotta love our neighbors, love our enemies. And you're like, oh, I gotta love my enemy. You might have to love your enemy, but you ain't gotta be friends with her. I'm just telling you, like, we be twisting the Bible so much just for our own benefit because we don't want to let stuff go in life. And that we know that thing is no good for us. You have to get to the point where you realize that just because it says to forgive someone does not mean that that person needs to be a part of your life. You don't have to be nasty to them. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to raise your voice. You just need to create distance because you have to protect your soul and yourself. You have to make sure that you keep a clear mind so that your spirit is clear, so that you can make the best decisions for your life, and you can do it with the best spirit, with the best heart posture. And you can't do that with all this negativity hanging around you, with all this negativity pending. You have to make sure you have a clear conscience. And in order for you to do that, you got to make sure you have the right people in your circle. And it's not going to always look eventful. It might look boring if you're so used to a lot of drama. And so you have to really figure out what's important to you. Is your peace of mind more important, or having a bunch of dramatic events and it being eventful important to you? If you really want real peace of mind, it's going to seem boring because it's not going to be a lot of action. My phone be dry as I don't know what most of the time. Like, I go out and there's always someone that's hitting on me. I'm not saying it as like a ego thing. I'm just saying it in general, just for context. And so that will happen, but most of the time, most people don't, and nothing happens. And so, so my phone be dry. I'd be like having phantom rings and stuff. I'd be like, did somebody call me? Nobody calls. I'm over exaggerating because I do talk to family members and things like that, but you get what I'm saying. It's never a point where it's like a bunch of stuff. It's usually like a conversation about how we're going to grow our business, or how we're going to be more successful, or it'll be me working on business stuff, or I'm in the church, or I'm doing religious stuff. I'm listening to Christian music. I'm listening to a podcast that's got a sermon or something inspirational. That's usually what I'm doing all the time. And so for me, it's just more about real work. It's not a lot of eventful stuff. I might go to different events or vendor shows, or I might go somewhere where it's marketing, something like that, but it's not a lot of drama. And I like it like that. I like it peaceful. And even when it comes to relationships, sometimes there will be women that come up to me and they'll say things like, I met this guy and he's in a relationship, but I think he's mine. And I'm like, God's not going to send you somebody else's man. Like, and they'll be so mad at me because they want me to just be on board with it. And I'm just like, you deserve so much more than that. I don't understand. I'm trying not to cry right now because it really breaks my heart when people do this. Like, men and women. When I see women feel like they're willing to compromise their integrity to try to be with a guy who's in a relationship, it really just makes me feel like they don't know their worth. Like I wish they knew who they are. I wish they knew how important, how special they are, how much they deserve to be the only person in that man's life or woman's life. Like, men, I see men do it too. I have guys that I was cool with or whatever, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm with this girl, but she got a man. And I'm just like, but I could be her boyfriend number 2. And I'm just like, it might sound cute, but you deserve so much more than that. I don't understand why we are so content being optional when you deserve to be the first choice. Like, it really breaks my heart. It really, really does. And I'm not saying from a judgy place at all, because we all make our own choices in life, and that's our decision to make. I wish there was something that I could do to let people know that you are special, that you do deserve to be treated the best, that you deserve to be men respected always, not yelled at, not talked down to, not treated like an option. You deserve to be a woman's choice because she really does care about you. A woman, I just wish that you knew that you are amazing. You literally are so powerful. There's so much power within you. You're beautiful, you're smart, you are intelligent, you are a blessing. You are somebody's help, and you deserve to be a choice, not an option. I hope that you always realize that. Do not rush the process. Like, I know you want to be with somebody. I know you want this new job. I know you want more money. I know you want this car, this house, whatever it is in your life. But I promise you, the journey is so necessary so that you could appreciate the things when they do come into your life, so that you could be in preparation and actually get ready for it the right way. You deserve everything that God has for you. I don't want to see anybody settle anymore. I hate looking around and seeing people just settle just because something's there. You don't have to settle for anything in life. Go for what you want. You want that the job of your dreams, go for it. Find out what you got to do to get it and go for it. You want that dream car? Appreciate the car that you have right now and work for it. Get your dream car. You want this house, the house of your dreams? Appreciate, take care of the house that you have and work for it. You could get your dream house. You want this man that's going to treat you like Christ loves the church, and you really want to be appreciated. You need to become a woman who can be appreciated like that. Do the prep work. Really go for what you want. Don't settle. Never, ever, 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 ever settle. Always go for what you truly want in life. Men, you want this woman who's going to respect you, who's going to give you peace. Give her peace first. Be the type of man who can be submitted to, who a woman can submit to, so that you can have peace of mind, so that you can lead in the way that you were intended to. Because if you want that type of woman, you could get it. Don't settle just because somebody bad and you feel like that's everything. Because when you are emotionally strained and you don't have no peace in your house, it's not going to be worth it. So just wait on God. Stop rushing the process, because everything is perfect in God's timing at the appointed time. And He's so strategic and so good with it. You just gonna wonder why you ever even considered settling in the first place. So I'm gonna go because I gotta be at a thing in like 20 minutes. How did it go by so fast? So I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have an amazing night and never forget your worth. Oh yeah, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you later.